This is Khalect, an Earthen who recently awoke from the machine. He wanted to see more than just Khaz-Algar. He wanted to see what all of Azeroth had to offer, and what he could find along the way. So he set off on a journey to collect everything that he could find. Transmog, mounts, pets, everything that would be a new experience for him. However, as an Earthen, he does have a directive to follow order, so he can't leave his zone until he collects everything. This little Earthen will unlock the world, one zone at a time. This is Zone Locked. Welcome to the very first episode of Zone Locked. While our boy Khalect is roaming around his very first zone of Elwynn Forest, let's talk about some of the rules for this challenge and the general premise of why I'm doing this. You see, I collect a lot in this game, and when the warband changes came out for Mog mainly, there's a lot that I don't have on my account because I was a one-class Andy for a very long time. Khalect is meant to get all those things that I don't have for other classes. Not to mention explore some of the things that you don't normally see or do in WoW. So with that, some zones are going to be really easy and I won't be missing a whole lot because I might actually have everything from that zone or just have it all done. But with that, let's look at the rules. For the first rule, I cannot leave a zone until I reach 100% on the add-on All the Things, as I'm using that add-on to track everything. Now, I'm going to have an asterisk by this because on All the Things, to see stuff that other classes use like armor and weapons that Khalect wouldn't be able to normally, I have to have a count mode on. And this is going to show things like Legion artifact skins that Khalect physically cannot pick up. Now, if a zone has a dungeon or raid in it, that dungeon or raid must be at 100% completion as well before I can leave a zone. Khalect's level will be locked to certain breakpoints in the leveling process. That way it won't just be a max level character running around and farming dungeons all day. The level breakpoints are level 30 for Classic, BC, and Wrath, and you can see what the rest are on this chart here. We're not going to have to worry about anything farther on because I'm going in expansion order, so I'm going to try to get everything done in Classic, then BC, then Wrath, and so on and so forth. It's going to take a long time, but this is meant to be a challenge that takes me a long time. The last rule is I can't use anything from any alt characters that I have. I must get everything that I want to use on Khalect. I can't use the Warbank, I can't use heirlooms, I can't get money, nothing that my other characters have already gotten. Obviously, I can't stop things like mounts being obtained or achievements getting done or whatever, but I want to try to use the least amount of account-wide stuff as I can until Khalect himself collects them. Now, there's going to be some other things to bring up and talk about, but we could talk about them when we get there. For now, Khalect heads into Elwynn Forest to hunt for some rares. I am now here in Elwynn Forest, little Khalect's level 11. I got a lot of XP buffs right now with the anniversary event going on. So let's look at what I really need in Elwynn. Down here, I don't need the Legion class haul stuff. So it's really going to come down to a few rares and some vendors. That is all I'm missing from Elwynn Forest after years of making alts here. So let's get this started. Fed Fennel, I need the Pale Skinner. Morgan the Sly, Jeweled Dagger. Motherfang, web-covered boots. Narg the Taskmaster has a ratty old belt and a studded blackjack. Thoros Lightfingers, a thuggish shield. Lastly, there's some vendors here that have unique things that I don't have. Antonio Pirelli has the Bear, Owl, and Wolf bracers, and Rallic Finn the fine short bow. Now that the rares and vendors and the items that I'm looking for are squared away, I need to level up. And the best way to do that is to just start farming these rares. So let me show you where they're all at. Morgan the Sly is over in this little lakeside cabin. Narg is outside Fargo Deep Mine. A ways to the east from Fargo Deep, we could find Thoros at this little camp. Heading north at the lumber camp, we could find Rallic Finn. This is the NPC that sells the bow that I need. Fed Fennel is up north of the lake, and then Motherfang is in the Jasper Lode Mine. Plot these guys on the map, and I have a pretty nice route around Elwynn that allows me to just keep farming them as I'm doing quests. Alright. Jeweled Dagger, yes? We got it! Let's go! Hold on. One Jeweled Dagger, and it came out blue. Very interesting. Very interesting. We actually got it. With the Jeweled Dagger dropping, that means I can mark Morgan off the list. I kept leveling, doing quests, and trying to avoid contact inside the inn. I'm back. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm trying to get through here. Hey there. Cobalt candles. But I started to run into a problem. Around the mid-20s, I ran out of quests, and the only way for me to get XP was for just killing things, and they're not giving the best XP. That wasn't until I remembered something. Professions. I picked up mining because I can mine nodes and get some decent XP from doing that, and then I also grabbed enchanting so I can eventually enchant my gear. My immediate goal is level 30, and now with mining it was going pretty smoothly until I hit level 29.
They do go kind of hard.
I liked them a lot when I was younger, but I just, whatever. I got the Thuggish shield. Let's go, boys. That's another rare done.
Nice.
Oh, it didn't stop there. All right, that's another Mother Fang kill. Do you guys think I want to get the web-covered boots?
Yes.
Not this time.
I did.
I told you.
No.
With pretty much back-to-back drops, I probably used up the majority of my luck for a while. Shortly after those, I hit level 30, and it was time to lock my XP. Here in Stormwind, you can find Bestin, who will eliminate your XP gain. I can now stay at level 30 until I'm done with the vanilla content. Did you know that the Horde version is guys named slots? Put them together, and you have Bestin slots. You know what else is Bestin slot? Hitting that subscribe button. If you want to do the most damage, I would do that. I go and turn into quests that I've been waiting to hit level 34 because it's going to have my Bestin slot weapon for a little bit. With my new weapon in hand, it's time to run my first dungeon, the Stockades. But before we do that, there's this weird thing that I have to do to collect everything from inside the dungeon. This will be my only time I'm going to use an alt for something. First thing we need to talk about is legacy loot. To sum it up, it's so you can get loot drops from any class. To get legacy loot to be enabled, you need to be at least 15 levels higher than a dungeon itself. So for classic dungeons, I'll need to be at least level 45. And as you could see, locking my level at 30 means that I am in fact not going to be level 45. This is when my alt comes into play. I have a friend invite my alt and Khalect into the same party. The friend leaves. I have the alt run into the dungeon first to make it a legacy dungeon. Then I log back over onto Khalect, he'll then run into the dungeon, and since the alt went in first, the game thinks the party is a legacy dungeon party, allowing Khalect to get the loot from all possible drops. Now that we're on the same page, I can start farming the Stockades for the collections. Alright, here's the thing. We are in legacy loot mode, and, oh my god, this is the best. I got my Bestin slot boots, and I got the item off that guy I needed for the collection. My stagger. Did I get that kickoff? I did not get that kickoff. The kite. Hogger is slain.
Get anything?
So, there's 3 things that I would want off of him. One of them is an item that I need. That would be my best in slot. And there's 2 items that I need for collection. I got my best in slot pants and one of the items from the collection, so I still need to do Hogger again. And he's dead. Verdict is I got 1 item that I needed for transmog, and I got 1 item that is my best in slot chest piece. Now, you may be asking yourself, Knabble, why are you running Stockades in the first place? Well, that's because the city of Stormwind is located in Elwynn Forest. Therefore, the Stockades are a dungeon inside the zone. However, I'm not going to be getting 100% on all the things in Stormwind. That's because there's way too many things that I just can't even do. What I can do, however, is keep farming these 2 bosses. Eventually, I got the Fire-Hardened Shackles from Lord Overheat, then getting the Stolen Jailer Greaves from Hogger. And then killing Lord Overheat again, I got the Silk Threaded Trousers. Overall, this was about 6 total runs to get me everything. I got the rare items way more than I did the actual items that I needed. It took a few hours, but the Stockades are now done, and I'm back to farming rares and shopping at vendors. Okay, Fed Fennel, you know what time it is. It's killing time yet again. Get my Chi Blast. Kill this little boy. Alright. I didn't get the thing, but what I did get was an add-on. I got an add-on called a Kill Track. And I thought this would be really cool to track these. So Fed Fennel shows that I've only killed him one time across all my characters. That's fine. But it shows kind of a count. Obviously, this is really wrong now because I got it super late. But I figured it'd be kind of cool to have this add-on to just kind of track everything. So we can show all the different rares and how many times I've killed them, etc., etc., etc. as we go in and keep farming all these rares for stuff. Because I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this one weapon. That's 1.6% chance of dropping. But it could be kind of cool just for me to track them. Okay, we need to have a little conversation here. I'm at Rallickfin, and I have been waiting for this bow to pop up. It just has not shown up. I'm getting annoyed. I'm like, where's this bow? How am I getting that unlucky that every time I'm here in a zone that nobody should be buying a bow off of, where's this bow? And then I thought to myself, there's no way that it would show these two, but for me to see it, I have to be like a hunter or something. So I clicked all. There's the goddamn bow. He even has two of them up. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But guess what? We learned his appearance. The fine short bow is done. Where is Fed Fennel? There he is. All right, boys. Let's see what I got. I got the Pale Skitter! Get me the f*** out of here! I'm out of here, boys! Oh my god. We actually got it. The 1.6% drop of the Pale Skinner. With me getting the Pale Skinner, let's update that list. All that's left is Narg the Taskmaster. This guy has the lowest drop rate item of the farm, the Studded Blackjack, with a drop rate of 0.13%. That's 1 in 769 kills, if I did my math correctly. With a respawn time of around 25 minutes, and at a very popular area, this item's going to take me a very, very long time to obtain. Just drop something, please. Oh, I got the ratty old belt. Oh my god, after all this time, I got the ratty old belt. Let's go, boys. We equipped that. It's worse than what I had on. But we got the ratty old belt. Finally, we are down to just the Studded Blackjack. Please. I got another ratty old belt. That'd be really cool of you. I didn't get it. Did not. All right, Narg. Here we go again, buddy. Old pal, old man, old dude, old rat creature. Just that's another ratty old belt. Okay. All right. We need to talk about an issue that came up while I was doing this challenge. Antonio Pirelli, the vendor that walks between Elwyn and the other couple zones that sells those 3 bracers that I'm going to need, he's bugged out. His spawns are messed up and you can't interact with him, so I need to use my backup strategy. Remember all that copper ore that I was mining to get levels? Well, I kept mining it and I kept putting it into the auction house. This is because I figured at some point I'm going to run into something that's bugged like this, or something that's such a low drop rate to save time, I was going to buy it off the auction house. Now, I'm only going to use gold that Khalect himself has gotten, nothing from alts. I figured if I can make 100k off of things only from the zones that I have unlocked, why not use it? I'm not going to go crazy because then it's a gold making series and not a collecting one, but it could be used for a backup if we get into a really long grind or bug things like right now. If you feel this is too open and doesn't give much of the challenge, let me know and we can work on some limitations for doing this later on. But now I have the 3 bracers, the owl, wolf, and bear bracers, and all that's left is to grind out that Studded Blackjack. Oh my god, I got it! That's right, I finally got the studded blackjack. You guys, it was a montage. To me, it was 112 kills. I went in and out of war mode and that really sped up the kills, but this was still a very long grind to get. I throw the blackjack in my bank to remember my challenge here in Elwyn and mark my first zone completed. Elwyn Forest has been 100%ed. Now that means it's time for me to get to the next zone. How I would do this is that if there's a direct path connecting this zone to another, I can go to it. So for Elwyn, I can go to Westfall, Red Ridge Mountains, and Dunmoreau, since it's connected by the tram. Each of these zones having their own pros and cons to it, with Dunmoreau probably being the longest grind with over 100 items needed from the zone itself and another 50-ish items from the dungeon. So let's get to that roll. Looks like my next grind is going to be a very long one. You know what? It's just in time for Winter Vale. If you made it here to the end, then thanks for watching. This video is just the start of a grand journey, so be sure to stick around. If you want to make sure you are up to date with everything that I'm doing, you know, the whole like, subscribe, bell thing, you know how YouTube is. So if you have anything you want to see me do in the future, be sure to let me know. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.